channel. My name is SKYMAN UNIVERSE. It has been a little bit of a time since our last video, but I think it's about time to jump straight back into the Mandalorian on episode 3, or chapter 3. The first two chapters were pretty good, as I seem to remember, but there's a lot of things which go on, and haven't watched it in such a long time again. I think I pretty much forgot everything which happens the first time around I saw it. That aside, let's jump straight to Star Wars politics just for a tiny bit. The rumours currently going around with George Lucas coming back. George Lucas wanting to do a series. I've been keeping a close eye on all the leaks that have been coming from the chap called Doomcock and various other sources as well. And if something like that happens, if things are changing at Disney Lucasfilm or Disney because of the whole situation, I think it's a positive move in the right direction. Star Wars really needs to be saved at this point. They're like Mandalorian season 2. That's going to be exciting when that comes out. I'll be looking forward to that. But movie-wise, there's nothing to get excited about. And I think if they're doing the Knights of the Old Republic or whatever the thing they're doing, I thought that was a book, but is that a movie? I don't have a clue what's going on there. And if it is, like, the characters were so anticlimactic, I'm not sure what to make of that. Whose trilogy, who's getting what? If you think about it, it's just a complete collective mess that they've got themselves into at Lucasfilm. They don't have a clue what they're doing. I feel like there's no plan. They're just sort of bumbling around, looking around, oh God, what's going to happen? It's either something like that's happening, people still clinging on and trying to be like Hitler in his bunker, still trying to do things when they don't have the power or authority to do it anymore. And I feel like they're trying to make a big change in Lucasfilm at the moment. Send the people on their way to do their own thing, go do what they wanted to do, just stop ruining Star Wars and let Star Wars be made again by its creator George Lucas. I think Disney made a terrible mistake by not listening to his ideas in the first place. The man is Star Wars. He is our creator for Star Wars, and he knows what Star Wars is, and I feel like so much of the Disney stuff, they just don't have a clue. Well, shall I say the sequels anyway. Too much influence from political agendas, etc. Yes, absolutely. And does that need to change? Yes. Am I hoping for change? Yes. So yeah, lots of things to think about, and I'm anticipating for. At the moment, the only thing that's keeping me interested in Star Wars is the fact that something like this might actually happen and change, and something refreshing. It needs a complete rehaul. They need to change it all up, let George Lucas make his sequel films, which he wanted, and yeah, just get Star Wars back on the right track. And this whole notion of the sequels being part of the Veil of the Mirrors or something like that, I think that kind of works. It's kind of a good escape to push it on the side. It's a timeline that we don't really want to see, and I certainly don't want to see. Maybe some of you want to see, but it still exists. It doesn't mean it disappears, but I think it's a handy way of just sort of redirecting it somewhere else and put attention back on to the sequels, what should have been. And I think we could say many times, and so many people recognize it by now, those weren't the characters or the interactions that you were looking for in the sequel trilogy in terms of the old legend characters, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, flying through space. Not really. So change needs to happen, and I really hope it does happen. So I think that's Star Wars politics out of the way. I think just sort of waiting news all the time at the moment. I mean, if you've got news, let me know down below. I'm reading the comments, see what the Star Wars feeling is at the moment, and I hope it's something that's going to bring change. Like I said, I'm a massive Star Wars fan, and I want Star Wars to be in a good position that everyone loves it, everyone has a great time, we look forward to things. Like, the value of Star Wars either increases or goes back to what it once was, because you look at Star Wars stuff now, if you look at the old sequel Star Wars stories, you think, no. But if you look at something, the original, you think, yes. I was in Lego store the other day, and I was looking at the sets, and I noticed they brought out some awesome original sets, and the Clone Wars sets as well. One of the sets that took my fancy was the Emperor Palpatine throne room. I thought, oh my goodness, if I had that if I was a kid, I would just love that completely. The fact that it's just epic set, and I had so much excitement for that. And then I looked at some sequel ship which was meant to be like a blockade runner or something like that, and then these group of chaps came next to me and they were absolutely bashing it. They hated the sequels, and I was looking over and I wanted to say, can I record you saying that, because you're just like Star Wars fans and I want to hear your opinions. And their opinion was they just couldn't believe that they're still making sequel things, like it means nothing to them. And I feel like I'm in the sort of same category at the moment. It's kind of like everyone's in, even the people in the shop, like I talked to them as well, they're in the same boat. I have yet to meet people in real life who actually like the sequels, like who are hardcore Star Wars fans who actually like the sequels. But they do exist, and that's great. And Star Wars is subjective. Like, you like what you want. If you like it, then that's great. I'm very, very happy for you. And I wish that I could have that experience as well, but I cannot. That's why I want change. And Star Wars returned back to George Lucas, who can send it in the right direction. Please make that happen. Anyway, Mandalorian Season 1, Episode 3. Oh good, we get to have a catch up.
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
My favourite line.
Proof.
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession. That was a great episode with the Jawas. Now I remember, like that, our last 2 episodes. And Baby Yoda. And I saw someone with a Baby Yoda shirt the other day, so that was pretty cool. Suka. I don't know why I really don't like this logo thing. I think it sucks. It doesn't sound like Star Wars. Okay, let's get into this. I love like the sort of building of the emotional connection and the relationship, and this fatherly thing which he probably never has experienced before now comes into fruition. It's like planting the seeds early on. That's what I like with this. There's character building throughout. Even that small like bit with people in the town feels more Star Warsy than all the sequels put together. Like their locations, Canto Bight was just, oh my god, an abomination of a Star Wars scene filled with aliens who did not belong in Star Wars, costumes which didn't feel like Star Wars. It was just all unfamiliar and made me feel sick. That is clearly made by people who understand Star Wars, and they get that feeling. It comes across, it's easily conveyed, and that's what I love about the Mandalorian. I love that thing. Oh. It should have been a Camino.
How many fobs did you give out to me?
About 100.
I had to ensure its delivery.
There's just so many cool bits, like even that, it's just a friggin' suitcase or something like that. But it's awesome. He's like, I'm gonna make me some armor with that Beskar. See you, kid.
Is it not the code of the guild that these events are now forgotten? That Beskar
I don't remember anything. I can't remember what planet this is called, but I would much prefer to visit there than I would Batu, Disney's thing, which I don't have a clue about, nor was I never really too excited about that. It always made me wonder why they opted for something different. That's awesome. Which wasn't Tatooine, but this, if it had like Mandalorians walking around and stormtroopers, yeah, that would have been really cool and interesting. Good timeline, and plus it's something that's now will be a little bit familiar because of the Mandalorian. You could have bought your own armor, your helmets, and taken Beskar to turn into something. That would be really cool, like a forged it. Just spitballing ideas here.
I must warn you, it will draw many eyes.
But it would look frickin' awesome.
Imperial smelter. These are the spoils of the Great Purge.
Previously? Break it up, break it
No
up.
longer. Have you ever removed your helmet?
No,
Has it ever been removed by others?
never.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
I want a KFC
What
bargain
caused this
bucket,
damage?
but I need to remove my helmet.
Then you have
This is the
earned
way.
the Mudhorn's-
I don't know why, but that image there, I saw Darth Maul's face. I love this moment so much. The fact they keep flashing back to droids and the Confederacy, like that reminds me of my era, like my time. And this sort of makes me feel old, but I just love the super battle droids that are in there. It keeps the prequels alive. And the music sounds great as well. I think it's like really well thought out, things like that. It's impressive.
Told you I'm not just copy. You had your shot, dust breather, but you failed. No puffs for you. Now get out of here.
Is it Grief Cargo or something? I can't remember his name, but I really like that guy. I think he's awesome. He's got a great personality. Can you imagine some Canto Bite aliens in there?
Only you. And with it, the richest reward
Goodness gracious me.
has ever seen. You hunters like to keep busy, right?
It would be so good
All
in
far
next
away.
season if they did like a Luke Skywalker and you bumped into him somehow. That'd be awesome.
Back to the core and report them to the New Republic.
That's a joke.
Mando.
That's the sequels for you.
Rewards. I'm Captain Old Spice.
Go back for him. Save him. Everything is so crazy, like it's someone who's wearing a helmet and they're able to convey so much emotion just with the helmet. It's a testament to the character. Like it's and the creation of this as well. It's so cool. It's a great idea for being a bounty hunter. You just go and deliver the package, collect the reward, and then steal it again. Ooh.
No, please! Please! No!
Yo, I used to be terrified of that medical droid
Please don't hurt him!
in the Jedi Academy. Every time I hear that noise, oh.
Please! No! Please!
See, I would love for that person to have been a Camino, and it seems too coincidental that it's another human. And the Caminoans are obviously expert cloners. That was a classy spin. Right, man, that looks awesome. Poor little bugger.
Now turn and face me.
Who said that?
Stand up.
It's pretty much like my bonfire night displays. They're my favourite fireworks. The whistling birds. How do they know that the Empire's not just taken the kid away? It's just such like a western shootout all the way through. That's why I love it. bastard. Nobody shoots an asteroid, mate. That gun reminds me of the number 4 gun, PC, Jedi Academy, the disintegrator. Where you'd be disintegrating radiance just like it. Is that a Zabrak? That's awesome if it was. It was. That's so cool. I love that scene so much. It's so cool to see Mandalorians with jetpacks. It's like my fanboy thing. I would do the same thing. Too many Mandalorians. I don't know why, but this makes me want to play Battlefront.
Get out of here. We'll hold
Hey,
them off.
Pre Vizsla.
You're going to. This is the way. This is the way.
This is the way. I was wondering how he stayed alive. Thank goodness for that Beskar armor. And his sense of humor will remain intact for later. I love that shot. Even though it's a bit Iron Man-y. Or the Iron Patriot. I love that so much. And there we have it. Thank you, Deborah Chow. See, I think out of all of them, I know there's 2 episodes which I'm not so keen on, but that one with directed by Deborah Chow was one of the good ones. And I love the Mandalorian showing up at the end there as well. I think character-wise, there's a lot of character development in that, which I really love with the Mandalorian. Like, it explores his past more, and like him becoming more and more of a Mandalorian. But a different kind of Mandalorian, one with more honor and sort of a moral compass, going back to save Baby Yoda, which I love as well. And like acts like that make him more relatable, and yeah, I think it's more enjoyable to watch. Seeing those endearing moments when he goes for Yoda, Baby Yoda, because it sort of plays my heartstring a little bit more. But the action-wise and that, and the vistas, you've got to love the vistas. But I think the whole look of that episode felt gritty and Star Warsy and felt like Star Wars. This is the idea which I've latched onto now. I shouldn't have said it, but the idea of having the theme park. I don't know why they didn't maybe even do it more Mandalorian related, and say if it even was that place. At least it's something we've seen before, and you could have tons of bounty hunters going in there, and it could be like this proper hive of scum and villainy. Which makes you wonder, well, you might as well just do Tatooine then anyway. But anything bounty huntery, you have some really cool people and aliens walking around. All this nonsense of the people dressed up as resistance people, and Chewie goes to a ship and then presses some buttons or something, or Rain goes does something. Like, God, that's so boring. But if you had bounty hunters, could be going and like looking for contracts, and they could have taken a picture of someone who walks into the park, and bounty hunters could be looking for them and going around searching for them. That would be really awesome. And then you could collect credits or something. That would be really cool. There's so much potential with bounty hunters, and stuff like this episode in The Mandalorian makes me think there's so much potential still for Star Wars, but the sequels make it seem like it was creatively bankrupt. And like they had no ideas, it was just a rehash, and if they did have new ideas, it was just nothing to do with Star Wars. It doesn't even feel like Star Wars. But a theme park, like, I really hope that, because they built the 2 Star Wars theme parks in America. I don't know if they built one in Japan, or if they had plans to do so as well, but I think they had plans to do it in Disneyland Paris, which would have been closer to me and be the Disneyland part that I would have gone to. But I really hope if that actually takes place and they do the expansion and build a Star Wars land there, then there might be opportunity to actually do a Tatooine land or something that's familiar with Star Wars. I just don't see how they could like redesign and rebrand what Batu is to Tatooine, that would just be a complete new refit. I think they've bodged up there so much they could start afresh and create something Star Wars and cool. I would love to visit that. I have no interest in visiting Batu, and I wouldn't say it feels completely Star Warsy to me at all. Wow, some First Order troopers going around, and what have you got? A ride that goes back and forward and goes round on the floor. Like, to see the visuals, I think that's an experience, but nothing really happens. An arcade game, Millennium Falcon, that never really interested me that much either. I think just being able to go on the Falcon would interest me more. Just to walk around it, or as like a tour, that would interest me more. And I always say this, I say it to my wife all the time, I think the most awesome thing would be to build like a Star Wars set tour, like they've done in the Leavesden, where the Phantom Menace was shot. And they changed Harry Potter, changed their studio into the tour. Like, if they did that for Star Wars, I would live in that place. If you had like the Jewel of the Fates area, had like Geonosis, you had Mustafar, you had Coruscant, and build like, there's so much potential. It would be amazing. I would love to walk on sets like that and see costumes in this massive like Star Wars museum experience. It would be informative, fun, interactive. It would be so amazing. It would be just like the Harry Potter one, but Star Wars. Like, I would pay to go see that all the time. I would not pay to go to Batu though. I just have no interest in that whatsoever. Like, I don't know. There's so many things to think about, and watching The Mandalorian just makes me think what different avenues they should have taken in all aspects of Star Wars, not just only the films or the TV series, but also the toys and the theme parks and everything that surrounds Star Wars and comes with Star Wars as well. But there's just been such terrible mismanagement, and this really makes me think who had influence in making this, who had the final say, whose ideas it was to make this sort of thing. I mean, you see Kathleen Kennedy sitting there, but was it really her idea? Or was she just claiming credit for it? Because her track record so far with the sequels, to me, they're so polar opposite. I don't believe they're made by the same people. Rogue One was a step in the right direction, but they just went way too far and just went completely off track. And now it's like they decided to hire people that will aggravate fans the most and irritate the fans. It's like they've got a personal vendetta against Star Wars fans, which I just do not understand. I just don't understand that logic. I'm really hoping for change. As far as the episode goes, I really like that episode. And I think The Mandalorian, as it goes further on, and the character develops more, the more I take to it, and the more I want to buy his armor and cosplay and dress up, because I'm a big sado. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. I hope you enjoyed this rewatch, which I don't remember, but now it's fresh in my memory now, and I remember what's going on. I hope you enjoyed me watching this, and if you have comments what you thought of this episode or anything else Star Wars related, then pop it down below and I'll be sure to read it. I look forward to doing the next one. I'll try and get that out a little bit sooner. My name's SKYMAN UNIVERSE. Take care of yourself, and remember, the Force will be with you always.